Part 1. The Night the World Still Believed. December 25th, 1822, just before dawn, the snow outside a small wooden home in Troy, New York, lay unbroken and blue under the moonlight. Inside, a father named Clement Clark Moore watched his children sleep, their breaths rising and falling like tiny winter tides. That night, he would put pen to paper and write words that would travel farther than he ever imagined. Words that would give the world a Santa who laughed, who hurried, who cared. 'Twas the night before Christmas. But long before poems and stockings and chimneys, there was another Santa, older, quieter, and deeply human. On December 6th, AD 343, in the coastal city of Myra, modern-day Demre, Turkey, a bishop named Nicholas walked alone through cold stone streets. He carried no sleigh, no bells, only a small sack of gold hidden beneath his cloak. That night, he would leave gifts for children whose parents had lost hope. He never waited for thanks. He never wanted to be seen. What mattered was that when morning came, lives would be changed. That promise, that no child should wake to emptiness, is the promise Santa still keeps. And on Christmas Eve, December 24th, that promise would be tested like never before. High above the Arctic Circle, at 90 degrees north, the North Pole was alive. Lights shimmered across the ice fields like spilled stardust. The Great Clock Tower struck 6 p.m. UTC, and inside the main hangar, elves rushed with practiced joy. Wooden trains rolled along conveyor belts. Storybooks were stacked by color. Teddy bears were stitched and hugged one final time before being packed. At the center of it all stood Santa Claus. Not the laughing cartoon Santa with endless cheer, but the real one. Older now, slower in his steps. His red coat bore faint stitches from centuries of wear. His eyes, bright as ever, carried the weight of every Christmas he had ever flown. Santa checked his list once more, then again. "Every name matters," he said softly, more to himself than to the elves around him. Mrs. Claus placed a warm, mittened hand over his. "You've never missed a child," she said. "Not once." Santa smiled, but it was the kind of smile that comes with memory. He remembered Christmas 1918, when the world was sick and silent. He remembered 1944, when lights were dimmed and children slept in shelters instead of beds. He remembered 2020, when hugs were replaced with distance, but still gifts arrived. This year felt different. Outside, the wind shifted. The sleigh, Aurora 1, upgraded only months earlier, waited on the launch ice. Its runners gleamed, enchanted with old magic and new engineering. 9 reindeer stamped their hooves, breath curling into the frozen air. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and Rudolph, his red nose glowing steady and calm. Santa climbed aboard at 6:47 p.m. "Let's go," he said. The sleigh lifted smoothly into the polar night, bells ringing softly as the world curved below them. The first hours were perfect. Over Finland, Santa dropped gifts into snow-dusted homes. Over Germany, he slowed for rooftops thick with frost. In London, Lima, laughter waited without knowing why. Children dreamed. But somewhere above the North Atlantic, at 11:18 p.m., the sky changed. The aurora dimmed. The air grew heavy. Rudolph's nose flickered. Santa leaned forward. "Hold steady, boy." Then it happened. A sharp crack tore through the silence. Not thunder, but metal. The sleigh shuddered violently. One runner sparked, then split. Santa grabbed the reins as Aurora 1 spiraled, gifts bursting from the back like falling stars. They crashed, not hard enough to harm the reindeer, but hard enough to break the sleigh. They landed on a frozen island, unmarked on most maps, somewhere between Greenland and Iceland. The wind howled. Santa climbed down slowly, boots crunching on ice. Around him lay scattered presents, wrapped in red and gold, now half buried in snow. Then Rudolph snorted. Footprints, not elf, not animal, human. From the shadows emerged 3 figures bundled in dark coats. They moved fast, quiet, their eyes locked on the gifts, not with wonder, but hunger. Thieves. They grabbed what they could, boxes meant for children, and disappeared into the storm before Santa could reach them. For the first time in centuries, Santa stood still. A broken sleigh, missing gifts, a ticking clock. Somewhere in the world, children would wake soon, and Santa Claus had never, ever arrived late. The wind carried the sound of bells fading into the dark. Santa closed his eyes. Then he opened them with resolve. Christmas was not over yet.